Robert Whittaker versus Rainer DeRitter goes down this Saturday. We're going to be breaking down the fight card. It's free on ABC, baby. Let's go. It's going to be a banger of a fight card, so let's get started from the bottom to the top. Here we go. To kick things off, we got Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha. Marcus Buchecha making his UFC debut. He went and fought at 1. He's one of the best grapplers on the planet. He's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys, coming from jiu-jitsu to go into MMA. I don't know how he's going to do in UFC coming from 1, because some of the guys over in 1, they look a little saucy, so who knows if he's going to be on the sauce, juiced up during this UFC run. And he's a little bit older, right? Like Buchecha's not a young gun, so we'll see how long his run is in the UFC. But with that being said, if he gets anybody to the ground, he can submit them. But also, with that being said, Martin Buday isn't just some slouch. He's ranked number 13 in the heavyweight division. He's beaten some really good guys. He's fought some really, really good guys in the heavyweight division. It's going to be a really good test for Marcus Buchecha. They're just not, they're not throwing him some bum, So it's going to be a really good fight. We're going to be seeing a ranked heavyweight right off the rip, a ranked fighter in the first fight of the night. And I want to say if Martin Buday keeps the fight on the feet, he's going to win. Right? If Buchecha cannot get him to the ground and submit him, which I think he very well can do, I think Martin Buday is going to have a field day with him on the feet. I think Martin Buday keeps the fight standing, keeps the fight on the feet, and just beats up Buchecha. That's how you have to beat him. You got to beat him up, man. You can't let these black belts, really good grapplers, not take any damage, because then it's just easier for them to get you to the cage, take you down. You got to wear them out by, damaging them, hurting them, and then lasting, through 3 rounds, just beating them up. And, yeah, I think Martin Buday gets the victory by unanimous decision. If he doesn't, Buchecha is going to get a submission, whether in the first or second round. Maybe a late submission, maybe, but if it's a late fight, if the fight is, going into the 3rd round, Martin's either surviving on the ground miraculously, or he's just slowly beating him up for 3 rounds. And if he's slowly beating him up for 3 rounds, I don't think Buchecha's going to take him down in the 3rd round, right? So I got Martin Buday by decision. Probably 29-28. Yeah, that sounds right. Next up, we got Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Nguyen. Now, I'm pretty sure Oh, no, he's got 2 fights in the UFC. He's 0-2 in the UFC. I thought he was making his debut for some reason. I think it's... No. Nguyen is 1-0. Or 0-1 in the UFC, sorry. It's the next fight that's making the debut. So, I'm going Stephen Nguyen on this one. I think he has a little bit slicker stand-up. I think he's a little bit better on the feet. Muhammad Yahya, coming off of 2 losses in a row. He really needs to, win this fight, or he's going to get cut from the UFC probably. But I think Stephen Nguyen is just a little bit better on the feet. He's not afraid to bring the fight either. He's not afraid to get in a really tough fight. He had a really tough fight in his first fight in the UFC. It was really back and forth for 3 rounds. It was honestly a really good stand-up fight. Not like it was super good technically, but both guys were hurting each other. Both guys were hitting each other with big shots. He could take a really good shot. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with good old USA on this one, Stephen Nguyen, probably by either TKO or decision. Muhammad Yahya, he's lost to some guys that I think Steven's better than. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see on Saturday. We shall see. I got Stephen Nguyen by decision. Next up, we got Ibo Aslan and Billy Elikana. Now, Billy is making his UFC debut. He fought in the PFL. He's going to have a tough match against him because Ibo is pretty good. He just lost to Kutelaba by submission. So if Billy goes in there and he shows off his MMA, all-around game, going in there, try to take him down, try to submit him, I think he'll do a lot better than going in there and just striking with him, because this dude, he hits hard. His last couple fights, he's won by knockout. So he lost to Kutelaba, right? But he beat Kirkara by knockout, and then he's beaten Turkal by knockout. So if the fight stays on the feet, I think Ebo has a really good chance of hurting Billy. Billy making his debut. His striking doesn't look that great. He doesn't really show off a whole lot of any other kind of repertoire for, he's got 3 knockouts, 1 submission out of 7 wins. And then, 3 of them have been first round wins. But I don't think he's going to bring, that striking heat to Ebo. If he does, I think he's going to get caught. So I'm going to go Ebo by knockout or by... Yeah, probably knockout or TKO. That's how he's going to win. Maybe not a decision. Next up, we got Amanda Ribas and Tabitha Ritchie. I don't know why this fight is so low on the prelims. This should either be the featured prelim or the one right before it. Because, who's Muslim Salikov and Carlos Leal? You know what I mean? Who the fuck are those guys? Everyone knows Amanda Ribas and Tabitha Ritchie. I just don't get how that and the Davy Grant and Damon Blackshear so low on the card. But anyway, they're both coming off losses. Let's see who they lost to. Amanda Ribas, her last loss, by way of submission from Mackenzie Dern, and then she lost to the decision to Namajunas in a pretty good fight. Namajunas kind of tuned her up a little bit. She beat Pinheiro on the feet, knocked her out. Knocked out, or no, she got TKO'd by Macy Barber. That's kind of crazy. And then she beat Arajao. So let's see what Tabitha Ritchie's last loss was, because I'm pretty sure she fought someone really good in her last fight as well. Let's see. Yeah, so she lost to Yan, who was really fucking good. She beat Hill by unanimous decision, which everyone beats Hill by decision. She barely lost to Pennington. I don't know why I'm losing her name. She doesn't go by Pennington. She does go by Pennington, obviously, but back in the day, Tisha Pennington. She won by split decision. I remember that fight, and then she lost to Godinez split decision. Yeah, it's gonna be a close fight. I'm probably gonna lean towards Tabitha Ritchie on this one. She has a little bit more of an all-around game than Amanda Ribas, but Amanda Ribas, when she does lose, she loses to the top of the division. You know what I mean? She lost to Mackenzie Dern and Rose Namajunas, but other than that, she wins fights. But she did get TKO to Macy Barber. So she loses to the best of the division, Tabitha Ritchie. She's lost to some of the best in the division, but I would say on a little bit of a lower scale. But I mean, she's good too. I think I'm gonna go. It's hard to pick on this one because it's really a toss-up fight. They kind of both have similar styles, but I think Amanda Ribas has a little bit better striking. Damn. It's hard to say who's gonna win this one. I'm just gonna go with Tabitha Ritchie. I think she's gonna use more wrestling, more clinch work, and yeah, she's gonna get the job done by decision. Next up, we got Davy Grant, Damon Blackshear. This is a classic striker versus grappler who can implement their game, right? Davy Grant, if he keeps it on the feet, I think he's going to tune up Damon Blackshear. But if Blackshear can get the fight to the ground and dominate on the ground, I think, obviously he's going to win doing that. But what game plan do I think is going to work? I think Davy Grant is going to have a better chance. This is the reason why. Because if the fight goes to the ground, Davy Grant has the ability to get up, spring back up, fight off the wrestling. And then when it's on the feet, which most fights start on the feet, right? All fights start on the feet. I think Davy Grant is going to do more damage to Blackshear than what Blackshear would do to him on the ground, right? Does that make sense? What Davy Grant could do to Blackshear on the feet is going to be more significant than what Damon can do if he gets, Davy down. So I'm going Davy Grant, probably late TKO or decision. 29-28, maybe he gets wrestled in round 1 or round 2, and then yeah, I think he just finds the distance on the feet faster than Damon will. Puts together better combos, and then I think he hurts Damon a couple times in this fight. So we're going to be going Davy Grant, late TKO or decision. Next up, we got Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. I'm going to go Carlos Leal on this one. He's on a win streak. He's knocked 2 guys out, I think, back-to-back. No. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He lost to a really good Fakhretdinov and then beat the shit out of Alex Morono. And then Muslim Salikov, he's kind of up and down. He's good. He loses some fights, wins some fights. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now, but he's lost to Dalby. He's lost to Jing Lang, the Leech. He beat Fiallo. But he beat Ponzinibbio, which by split decision, which is good, and then he knocked out Keenan in his last fight. I don't really know who Keenan is, but so he's got a lot more experience. So maybe I'm switching up and I'm gonna say Muslim for a bit of a safer bet. But Carlos Leal has every tool to beat Muslim because Morono's a pretty fucking good fighter and he knocked him out in the first round. So Muslim has a handful with Carlos. Carlos is third fight in the UFC, so he's going to be real hungry, looking for that win, looking to move 2-1 instead of 1-2. So he's got something to really fight for. So I'm going to stick with Carlos Leal. My gut says Carlos, so I'm going to stick with Carlos, probably by knockout or decision. Next up, we got Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov for the prelim featured bout. Now this one's going to be a little bit more tricky because Said Nurmagomedov, he's been beaten by a lot of really good guys, right? Like, he's lost a lot, but everybody he's ended up losing to have went on and been, like, really, really good, right? Like, let's just check it out. Everyone he's beaten and lost because he has a bit of an interesting record in the UFC. So he's beaten Ramos, who was good, lost to Barcelos, who's really good. That's probably the worst fighter he's lost to, right? Beat Striegel, beat Stamen, beat Silva de Andrade, three back-to-back really good wins, and then he beat Nurmagomedov, Kakramanov, who's really good as well. Lost to Martinez, who's really good. Then he beats Gafurov, and then he lost to Oliveira, right? So he has 3 losses in the UFC. I thought he lost to somebody else too. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, obviously not. We're looking at it. So yeah, he's lost to 3 really good guys. Oliveira just won his fight last week, so it's going to be a good fight for him because I think he's going to have better striking than Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell's got kind of sleeper striking where it's like not the best, but it's not bad at all, right? Like he's got pretty decent striking. I don't think he's going to have the ground game to beat Nurmagomedov, right? Like the dudes he's lost to have really good striking. He's lost to Oliveira, who's got good striking, and he's lost to Martinez, who's got good striking. Barcelos has a little bit better of a ground game, I would say, but he's only lost to them by decision, right? So if you can outpoint him, outfight him, outgrapple him, you could beat Said Nurmagomedov, but I think Said is due for a win. He needs a win. Bryce Mitchell's cutting down to bantamweight for the first time, so that's going to be, something to look out for. If he's cutting a little bit too much weight, he could gas, especially with the wrestling-heavy style that he has, because we've seen him gas a little bit before, like when he fought, Bryce Mitchell and then, Ilya Taporia and a couple other guys. He just gets a little tired in fights. So I'm going to go Said Nurmagomedov. I think he's going to do a little bit better. And we've seen Said gas out too, but I think he's, more attuned to fighting at 135. So I'm going to go Said Nurmagomedov by decision, maybe submission, right? Maybe Bryce gets a little too gassed, goes in for a weird grappling exchange, gets caught in some kind of choke like he did in his last fight with Gene Silva, right? So yeah, we're going Said by submission or unanimous decision. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. This is going to be a good fight. I think I'm going to go Guskov. He's only had 2 fights in the UFC. Nikita Krylov coming off of a bad knockout loss against Dominic Reyes. And Guskov, if there's one thing we know about him, he throws bombs and he knocks people out. I think he's 1-1 in the UFC, maybe 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 in the UFC. Oh, no, 2-1. Yeah, he lost to Ozdemir by first-round submission. I don't think Nikita Krylov's going to go in there and try to submit him. But he knocked out Paga, who's really good. And he's not like really good, but it's impressive knocking him out in round 1. And then he knocked out Ryan Spann, which is, it is what it is. But I think he's going to go in there. He's going to touch Nikita Krylov. I think Dominic Reyes fucking knocked him out really bad in their last fight. So I don't think Nikita's going to be fully recovered from that, and I do believe Bogdan's probably going to get another knockout victory. If not, a decision win, 29-28, because I can see Nikita, squeezing out one round. But I think Nikita's going to get hurt a couple of times. Might get a 10-8 round in there. So yeah, I'm going Bogdan Guskov by knockout. Next up, we got Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Now, Jose Ochoa just pieced up Cody Durden, right? Pieced him up bad. Who doesn't piece up Cody Durden on the feet? I don't know. But let me tell you, Jose Ochoa was one of them, and he looked fucking great on the feet, you know? He has lost to Kavanagh in a really close fight where he was, finding success on the feet against Kavanagh. But Kavanagh and ASU, whatever, they have similar styles where they fight or they box, wrestle, strike to wrestling, wrestling to striking. They go up and down with their striking and their wrestling. So I want to give it to Almabayev because I think he's going to mix it up more, but Jose Ochoa, man, he's a problem on the feet. And if he could start, and this is only his third fight in the UFC, so if he could start getting a fucking, getting his bearings underneath him and finding his strikes, I think he's going to do really good in the flyweight division because he's got fucking hands. He's got really good hands, and I think he's a little bit overlooked in that department. Like, he's got really good striking. But Asu is definitely a veteran in the division, and he's got really good wrestling as well. Like, really, really good wrestling. He's only really lost to Manel Cape. Other than that, he's pretty much beaten everybody. He submitted Osborne, but he decisions everybody. That's the thing. He decision Vergara, decision Johnson, decision Nicolau, but then he got TKO'd in round 3 by Manel Cape. And Manel Cape's really good, and that was earlier this year, a couple months ago. So it's going to be hard because if Jose can find that same level of success on the feet against ASU, I think that Jose can, find that TKO finish, like a late TKO finish, if not like a really early one, catching Asu really early in the fight when they're dry. But if Asu can get his game plan going and wrestling, I think it's going to be a decision win for Asu. So I'm going to go decision for Asu by, wrestling Jose Ochoa for 3 rounds. But if Jose Ochoa wins, it's going to be either early or late knockout. Next up, we got Shara Bullet versus Marc-Andre Barriault. This is going to be a really good fight. This is a banger. Banger of a fight. This is a banger, and I know bangers. I think Bullet's going to take this one. He fought a really tricky MVP in his last fight who gave him his first loss in MMA. Barriault is more of a slugger, tries to throw bows, tries to throw bombs. Pressures you, right? And I think it's going to be really hard to do that against Shara Bullet. Shara had problems with MVP's point style kind of fighting. He was too in and out. It was really hard to, get a hold of him. So I think he's going to be fighting someone who's a little bit easier to hit, and that's going to work into his advantage. So I'm going Shara Bullet either by TKO or decision, right? I think if he gets a TKO, it's going to be due to volume. I don't think it's going to be like a slip, bang, knocks him down, knocks him out. I think he's going to just be piecing him up, breaking him down, lots of body kicks. If they're in the open stance, lots of body kicks, lots of straight hands. And yeah, I think Shara's going to take this one. I think he wants to get that last loss back. And it's Russia versus Canada. We got to bet on Russia every day. Unless it's hockey, then we could kind of bet on Canada. But anyway, yeah, I think Shara Bullet is going to take this one TKO by way of volume, or just pieces them up for 3 rounds and gets the decision, 30-27. Next up in the co-main event, a lot of people are giving Marcus McGee some slack because, that I think they're overlooking Marcus McGee. I've fought on a couple cards locally with Marcus McGee. He's a bad motherfucker. I watched him live a lot. He's beaten up a lot of really good guys here locally in Arizona. He's knocked out a bunch of dudes in UFC. It's going to be a fucking good test for him. I think it's a really good fight. They both have similar styles and similar, they're both roughly the same height. It says Marcus McGee's 5'8". I don't think he's 5'8". because I'm not 5'8", and we're kind of the same height. I think he's more, 5'7", so he's going to be a little shorter than what they say. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Maybe he grew a couple inches since the last time I seen him. But they're pretty much close to the same, height, same reach. We're going to see if they're close to the same skill set. I think Peter Yan is, if he doesn't win this fight, he's going to be on the down, the tail end of his career, right? He's going to be on the way out. Not because Marcus McGee is not good, but because if he loses this fight, he's going to get beat up. That's why. right? Like, Marcus McGee's fucking good, dude. And when he beats people, he fucking beats people, man. Like, he hurts them. And I think he's going to be overlooked. I think this is going to be one of those fights where you're going to have a big underdog look really fucking good. And maybe, you know, that second round when those live odds come out, we're going to see those odds a lot closer than what people thought. And Marcus McGee hits hard, dude. And we've seen Peter Yan, you know, get hurt. Not a lot, but, you know, he's been cracked a couple times. And I think he might be, hopefully he's not, because I'd like to see a really good showing from Peter Yan as well, because I want it to be a good fight. But I think he might be overlooking Marcus McGee because he's so low on the rankings. That's going to be a really bad thing if Peter Yan does that, because Marcus McGee is really good everywhere as well. He's got good striking, good grappling. He might not be as slick or as flashy as Peter Yan, but he's really very technically sound as well, okay? And he's black, so he's got that fucking swagger to him. So we got to keep that in mind, right? Peter Yan's got that fucking sick European swagger. Marcus McGee's got that good old USA black dude swagger, okay? So just fucking keep in mind of that. He's fucking slick on the feet. Don't fucking listen. I'm rooting for the AZ boy. I'm going Marcus McGee. This might be a fucking hot take right now, but I'm going Marcus McGee by decision in a 3-round fucking war, because I'd like to see be a good fight, but I would love to see Marcus McGee knock this motherfucker out. But yeah, if Peter Yan beats him, he's gonna just out technique him. Right, he's gonna be a little bit better everywhere, and the experience is gonna show. But Marcus McGee's been doing this for a long time, man. He's been fighting for a long time. He's been fighting at high levels, training with really high level people for a long time. He trains with, you know, Sean O'Malley a lot, and you know, if Sean O'Malley, he's gonna give you some of the best striking looks imaginable. So he went, you know, had 3-round war with Peter Yan. I think it's gonna be very good. You know, just everyone that Marcus surrounds himself with. He's going to be prepared to fight Peter Yan. You could fucking bet your top dollar on it. Your bottom dollar, whatever. Top and bottom dollar, okay? I'm going Marcus McGee by decision. Could be a split decision. I would like to see a unanimous or a knockout from Marcus, because that's just a hometown boy. Like I said, I fought on the same card as Marcus McGee. I've always rooted for him. I even told him that when he was main eventing one of the fights. I've always loved watching Marcus McGee. He's a bantamweight, so I love watching him, stealing stuff from him. Yeah, he's really good. And yeah, I'm going Marcus McGee. Peter Yan, you might be on the way out, my boy. You might be on the way out. Everyone, this is the thing. Who did Peter Yan fight last? Was it Song Yadong, right? It was someone really good. No, it was Davison Figueiredo. And then, yeah, Song Yadong. Like, he looked okay. Like, people were like, man, he looks so good against Song Yadong. Oh, he looks so good against Figueiredo. Like, oh, man, like, he looked unstoppable. He looked okay. Like, he didn't look that great. Like, I think people were kind of just gassing him up a little too much because they love him so much. And he hit his Peter Yan sweep that he hits on everybody, but like other than that, he looked hittable. He didn't look just okay. He looked really good, right? But I think people gassed him up a little bit too much on how great he looked. People were like, "Oh, he's back. He's unbeatable." But I think Marcus McGee is gonna get the job done. And in the main event, we got Robert Whittaker and Rainer de Ridder. This is a big jump for de Ridder. He goes from fighting Bo Nickel to Robert Whittaker, former 2-time champion. Two-time? No. Not a 2-time. Just a champ who's defended his belt a couple times. It's going to be a fucking tough fight for Whittaker because, you know, Rainer de Ridder is a 2-time champion over at one championship, which is very hard to do. See, the odds are really close. Both plus 100, minus 100. Rainer de Ridder, man, he's going to have to bring the fight to Robert. But Robert is so slick on the feet. And if he can stay away from Rainer de Ridder's knees at distance, I think he's got a little bit better boxing, a little bit better footwork. Rainer de Ridder's got really good striking, but more like in the pocket, more like catching you when you're throwing, right? So if Robert Whittaker could go in and out like he usually does, I think he's going to do really good. I think he's going to be a little bit too much for Rainer de Ridder on the outside. But we are at a point where it's like, is Robert Whittaker on the way out? Right? Is he going to be like a Peter Yan type guy where, he might be on the way out here with this loss? I don't know. I would hate to see it because I'm such a big Robert Whittaker fan. But he's only lost to champions or, the next up, right? He lost to Chimaev. He lost to DDP, and then he lost to Izzy, right? Those were his last 3 losses. Other than that, he beat the shit out of Tarrandale, Darren Till, he beat the shit out of Cannonier, he beat the shit out of Gastelum, loses to Izzy, beats the shit out of Vittori, loses to DDP, beats the shit out of Costa, beats the shit out of Alaskarov, right? So it's not like he's on the way out, but this might be one of those, all right, we might need to think who you're going to fight next, because if he loses to the ranked number 13 guy, it's not going to be a good look for him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the experience is going to show. I think Reiner de Ritter is going to actually take, it might be his first loss in the UFC, maybe his second loss in the UFC, because he's only had 4 fights. He's beaten Meerschaert. He submitted Meerschaert, which is actually pretty impressive. Submits Holland, also very impressive. So he comes over from 1, and he's just submitting dudes. Yeah, I mean, Reiner de Ritter has all the tools to beat Robert Whittaker, but I don't think he's going to get Robert to the ground. I don't think the fight's going to go to the ground. And if the fight does stay standing, like I said, he just needs to clear those straight up the middle knees from Reiner de Ritter, and don't let Reiner, get you into a corner, back you up, get a nice clinch, and stay clear of, the big looping shots and the strikes down the middle. So just, being really, really aware from everything. Be in and out if you're Robert. Touch, pull, return. Touch, slip something, boom, return with the hand up. A lot of kicks. If Reiner de Ritter goes to the body early, that's going to be a really big thing in the fight, right? That's going to make a lot of dividends in Robert Whittaker. If he goes to the body early, it's going to help Reiner de Ritter out. That would be my goal for Reiner. Beat up the leg, beat up the front leg, and then beat up the body. And then when you can, throw a lot of head kicks to keep Robert Whittaker's right hand at bay, right? Robert Whittaker ducks in a lot. When he throws his jab, he ducks in his right head a lot, or his head into his right hand a lot. So throw some switch kicks, go open stance, throw some kicks up to the head, and don't let Robert Whittaker back you down, right? When he starts changing his level, throw those knees up the middle, throw those kicks. And yeah, try to keep him standing straight up. That's the best bet to beat Robert Whittaker. Don't let him get offline. Don't let him, use his jab that he has a really good job at doing, is using his jab, using his right hand, following that, and using that kick right after. So I think I'm going to go Whittaker just from experience, but I will not be surprised if Reiner de Ritter pieces up Robert Whittaker slowly throughout the fight, and it becomes, a really close split decision or a war back and forth, right? But yeah, we're going Whittaker for the main event. I think he's going to give Reiner de Ritter his first UFC loss. It's a big jump for Reiner de Ritter after the people he's been fighting. It's Kevin Holland, who's not really an 85er. And then you beat Meerschaert, who's not really that great. But I'm not taking anything from Reiner de Ritter. If you win in the UFC, it's because you're a bad motherfucker. Okay? And even if you lose in the UFC, you're still a bad motherfucker. And so I just think it's going to be a big jump in UFC competition. He did fight really good guys over at 1, but I think it's a big UFC jump to fight Robert Whittaker in your 4th fight. So we'll see. We will see. But that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe. Don't miss a video. Peace out, everybody.